everybody. Welcome. And let's get to work. I'm very much looking forward to working with Lisa and see how this unfolds. In 1783, a Jewish girl in Easton, Pennsylvania, became pregnant out of wedlock after having relations with a Christian man. His name was James Pettigrew. He was a member of George Washington's army, stopped in Easton, Pennsylvania. They had a relationship. She became pregnant. They were married in a Christian ceremony. He's a Christian. She was a Jew. They were married in a Christian ceremony. Sometime thereafter, a Jewish man from Easton by the name of Barnett Levy visited Philadelphia. Now, you may know where Easton, Pennsylvania is. It's all the way on the eastern border of Pennsylvania. I was there not very long ago with my grandchildren because that's where the Crayola factory is. So everybody goes there for the Crayola factory, but then I realized that I was in Easton and I had known about this story. I got all excited that this is actually where the story happened. So it is some distance from Easton to Philadelphia, but a man by the name of Barnett Levy from Easton shows up in Philadelphia and he testifies before the leadership of the Mikveh Israel synagogue, which was then one of the earliest synagogues in the United States in Philadelphia, which actually still exists, testifies before the leadership that somebody by the name of Moses Mordechai had come to Easton and had performed a Jewish wedding ceremony for the Christian man and the Jewish woman. Moses Mordechai denied that he performed this marriage, this Jewish marriage, this Jewish intermarriage, and he sought to disqualify Barnett Levy as being a witness because Barnett Levy, he claimed, was a Shabbat desecrator and an eater of non-kosher food. Matters get very heated in Philadelphia, and they don't know what to do. Now understand that in 1783, there are no rabbis in the United States. Jews came to the United States. We just celebrated not too long ago our 350th anniversary, 1660-something, after they left Recife in Brazil. After the Inquisition came back to Portugal, Portugal reconquered Brazil from the Dutch. So they come to New Amsterdam, and from the 1660s until 1840, there are no rabbis in America, which means for close to 200 years, American Jews are led by lay leaders. 1840 is the first time a rabbi comes to America to stay. There were two other rabbis who came to raise money, one from Hebron and one from Europe, and went back. They came for a short period of time. Abraham Rice is the first rabbi who comes to the United States in 1840. He could not get a job in New York because he didn't have a doctorate. And so he got a job in Baltimore. Apparently in Baltimore wasn't a big deal if he didn't have a doctorate, as long as he was a rabbi. I'm sure he was a wonderful rabbi. And in the 1840s, 11 rabbis come. And as we say, the rest is history. And Baruch Hashem, we're here. There are lots of rabbis today living in America. 1783, there are no rabbis. We have Joseph Karpelis and Manuel Josephson, are the two lay leaders who are running Congregation for Israel. They're in now over their head. They don't know what to do. This is exploding. This is a terrible situation. So they did what they did on other such occasions when they were stymied. They sent a letter back home, and back home was Amsterdam. This is a Sephardic congregation, Congregation for Israel, and the rabbi in Amsterdam was Rabbi Shaul Lowenstein. Rabbi Shaul Lowenstein was the Ashkenazi chief rabbi in Amsterdam, a descendant of a very distinguished rabbinic family, and they asked him, what should we do? Now the archives of Congregation Mikveh Israel are extant, and not too long ago, if you look on the bibliography, Sidney Fish, 1975, publishes an article in the Gratz College Annual of Jewish Studies. I have more. Anybody else need?
Yes.
1 second, let me just make sure that it's straight together. Anybody else? The Gratz College Annual of Jewish Studies, The Problem of Intermarriage in Early America goes into the archives of the Congregation of Israel, which is written in a kind of a mishkabibble, because these are lay leaders who are somewhat knowledgeable, not very knowledgeable, writing a letter to a rabbi, so they're desperately trying to make it rabbinic. So it's a little bit of Hebrew, it's a little bit of English transliterated when they just couldn't figure it out. It's a bunch of Yiddish thrown in there. It's just, it's a hybrid. It's an extraordinarily interesting linguistic creation. Fish translates it into English, and that's the point of departure for our conversation today. And this is the letter from Josephson and Karpelus to Lowenstein, and you now have the background for this. We therefore take the liberty of submitting hereby a full description of this case with all the relevant details, certified by the Parnas and 2 elders of Congregation for Israel. We pray and trust that this will not be too burdensome for your excellency, and that you will find favor, and you will favor us by the illuminating light of your wisdom at the earliest possible moment. Our eyes and the eyes of our entire community are turned to you for the decision concerning Reb Mordechai, because Reb Mordechai is the one who was accused of performing this wedding ceremony. He, in turn, accused the accuser of being unacceptable to say anything in any kind of a Jewish context. If guilty, what should his penalty be? Because our judgment was rendered on a temporary basis only until Barnett Levy's next visit to our town, when he can testify again in the presence of Reb Mordechai. We are anxiously awaiting your authoritative reply, because this matter touches the very essence of our faith. And I underline the next line, especially in this country where everyone does as he pleases. Most deplorably, many of our people, including some Kohanim, marry Gentile women. They consult so-called scholars, thoroughly corrupt individuals who flagrantly profane the name of God, and who contrive erroneous legalistic loopholes. The heart aches even at the mere mention of such goings-on, let alone to notice them with our own eyes. Yet the Kahal has no authority to restrain or punish anyone, except for the nominal penalty of denying them synagogue honors or of withholding from them sacred rites. However, these vicious people completely disregard such measures and continue to attend our synagogue, because under the laws of the country, and I should have underlined this too, it is impossible to enjoin them from so doing. The responsibility and the need for giving this matter the widest publicity, etc., etc., do us a favor and send that whatever you can. So in 1783, we have a reality in this country that I think is the core point of departure for leaders who are interested in engaging Jews in Jewishness, and I'm using that word as widely as possible, in the year 2011. And that is, this country, thank God, the United States of America is a democracy. This is a free country. Rabbi Lowenstein, this isn't like it is back in Amsterdam. Back in Amsterdam, there are certain sanctions that the community has, that the community can impose. We can't do that here in America. America is different. In our country, everyone can do as he pleases. We can't even, by American law, interestingly, determine who can come into the synagogue. They can claim, it's a free country, I want to go wherever I can. We can't even keep them out of the synagogue. So we won't give them maftir, or we won't give them sikha to open the ark, but they don't give a damn anyway. They do whatever the hell they want, and this is a free country. That's the first story. Second story brings us to 1839. In the year 1839,